Hey, Scott Russell, I want to talk a little bit about building in the spirit. You know, sometimes you feel something. You just know that you know that you know that it's there. But you can't seem to touch it. You can't seem to see it. You don't seem to know how to have it. But you just feel like it's you. And I think that's what I'm getting at here today, is that often God will put something in us that's a truth. And naturally, we can't seem to get it. We try to build that thing, and it's kind of like a house. You know, there's a verse in the Bible that says, the Lord builds a house. Unless the Lord builds the house, they labor in vain that build it. And I think many times we get, it's like heaven gives us this building. Heaven gives us this plan, but it gives us the whole thing completed. He's the builder. But we come along and we see the picture of this house and we think, well, I've got to build that. I've got to make that happen. And that's kind of like a lot of religion, isn't it? Like I've said, we do to be. So we see this thing in us. We see peace. We see the perfect relationship, who we're supposed to be with, what we're supposed to be doing. And we see it. It's who we are. But then we make the mistake of trying to make it happen. And when we try to make it happen, we screw up. I've done that. There's people, in my life that I care about, people I've cared about. And when you see it, you know. You see the fullness of what they could be. You can see the potential, the amazingness. And I think often a lot of us have this such untapped potential. And there's this person that I know of that's such untapped potential and not in a place where that will be tapped. But God comes along and says, I've built a house there. I'm going to bring it out. You don't try, Scott. You back away. You leave things alone. You go and just live your life. And it's like when God gives you that picture of something, he says, live it. Let it be who you are. And when we let it be who we are, we live in the authority of it spiritually. But if we try to make it happen, that's not authority. It's insecurity. We're living in the insecurity of it. And you'll never really see the fullness of what you're doing. I have a friend that's very successful in business, a world leader in what he does. And one of the things he said is he never goes to business, he lets business come to him. And he says, and what's right will come to you. What's right will be drawn to you. The authority, the presence of who you are. And when God's ordained something with a relationship, a woman, when God's ordained it, it will come together. Naturally, I think the best thing we can do is take our hands off and just go, all right, I need to just leave that as alone and let God just do it. If it's supposed to be, it's going to be. But the more we put our fingers in the mix, the more we mess it up. The more Scott gets involved, the more it gets messed up. So it becomes the same with what you're seeing with your future, what you're seeing with, you can see something, and some of you know what I'm talking about. You sense it. I know another person, they come one day and they say, I just feel wealthy. Not rich. Rich is different. Wealthy in life. I feel wealthy. I don't understand it. I can't see anything. I don't have much money. And they're going like, I don't get it. But I feel it. Come to find out, this person, that there was an abundance of actual wealth there that had been in their life, financial wealth, that they'd been pushing away, not understanding what it was. When they finally accepted this and said, okay, I'm going to do this, it turned out that it was multi of a blessing. And it was an incredible time with that person. And I think for me, I was blessed to see that with their life. When God builds something in you, it's forever. When God builds something in you, sit in it. Sit in the authority of it. Let it get around you. Let it become who you are. And savor it. And just know you're going to be taking it to the bank. Because wealth becomes the richness of life. So it's like when God gives you that house, let's call it a house, that spiritual house. It's like in the spirit of who you are, you sit in it and you become comfortable in it. So when you get it, and this is the way God works, when he gives you something, it's not, you don't learn to live with it then. You've already learnt to live with it. You've already learnt the unconditional love. It's already become who you are. When God brings that woman to my life, I've already embraced what she is. I already know the good, the bad, the ugly. I've already seen some of the things she's done and not done. And so when she comes, I'm already living in the authority of who I am in that relationship. There's no surprises. Of course, there's going to be things that'll come along that you have to journey on together and understand together. But in essence, you're already in the fragrance of who she is. You're already in the fullness of who she is. And in that fullness, there's such security, you're able to say naturally, I take my hands off. Naturally, I just sit back and go, okay, if that's just supposed to be, I'm going to follow the peace. The peace is telling me she's going to be there. So I'll live in that. Because we were made for each other. And you can't run from that. You can look and say, but naturally the circumstances don't seem good and life is crazy and this has happened and that's happened. And you go, yeah. But I'm at peace in knowing that I can take my hands off because I know inside that it's supposed to be. She knows that it's going to be. She knows it's supposed to be. She can't run from it. The circumstances around her life might be a little crazy and a little, she can't understand it. She doesn't have the control of it. That's good, because the first thing she's learning is you can't control love. Love just is. Love is there, and when you're supposed to be with something, all you can do is surrender to it. Submit to the spirit of it and let it just draw together and be. And then she is going to be in the absolute fullness of what I can see for her life. She can see my life. I can tell you now, I guarantee you, that woman, she's there. She will see my life and she'll say, you know what, he's such an idiot in that area. And I just know I can complete him there. I'm looking at her and going, man alive. She's such an idiot in some of those areas. Not an idiot in a bad way, but just doing some crazy things. And you look and go, I know that's not the fullness of who she is. But when the fullness is there, it's going to be completed. And when it's completed, it's limitless. The potential is limitless. Love is limitless. That when that one's there in love, you celebrate those things that naturally people would see as failures. You're looking and going, wow, that is the greatest opportunity that I have to show you that I love you. Whoa, my camera's gone crazy. The wind's got a hold of me. Sorry folks, I'm sitting here on a mountaintop and the wind is going to town on me. So anyway, I'm going to leave you with that and just say, when something's in the spirit, God's already given it to you. Sit in it, savor it, enjoy it. Let it come around you. Let it be who you are. Let go of the control of trying to make it happen. And when you let go, follow the peace. You'll know what you're supposed to do. You'll know when you're supposed to do it. And it'll just build something beautiful. I'm watching that with some areas around my life. And it's just so enjoyable to know I'm not in control of it. I just say, God, I'm scared of some of these things. What if I've lost that? What if this is gone? What if this is... I'm just going, God, it's in you. I feel it. It's who I am. I'm going to live in the fullness of it. Excuse me. Whatever's God got for you today, live in the fullness of it first. In the spirit of who you are. Dance with God. Then let him dance you into what it is naturally for your life. God bless you.